what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I am coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8, Episode 8. So, yes, I am back in Atlanta, still on vacation, but not in Utah no more. I had a wonderful time out there. Shout out to my mother-in-law, my stepfather-in-law. Everybody was trying to figure out why my father-in-law was, you know, Mexican or whatever y'all thought he was, white. It's like, oh, I didn't know that your husband was biracial. No, he's not biracial. He's just black. That's not his dad. That's just his mother. His mom is Creole or, you know, black, whatever you want to call it, from Louisiana. So that's why she looks like she does, and that's not his dad. So my husband still turns out to be black. Anyway, you guys, I am on Old National. My son is getting his hair cut. He got me up and rushed me over here for a fucking 11 o'clock appointment. The shit is not until 11:30. So right now he is outside of the car trying to pick his hair out. He's super tender-headed and he doesn't want his barber to do it. So he's trying to do it. I was just doing it in the car and it was hair and shit flying everywhere. I was like, you got to get out the car because you knocking hair everywhere and I'm trying to do this video. You all in the way. So yeah, he's right there trying to pick his hair out. His barber not here yet. So he wants to get his hair cut. Anyway, you guys, it was okay last night. A few things to talk about. Let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, so first up, Kenya. We're doing it out of order because it'll make a little bit more sense. Kenya's dad comes to visit her because she wants to show him the progress that's been made on her house. Her house, to me, looks like it's going to be very nice. I know that they had it posted on, I think it was the Shade Room. People are saying that it's still not done and all of that. It does take a little time to get a house, you know, that was in that condition up and running. It looks good to me. Definitely not a Atlanta, Georgia house. It gives you that whole West Coast flair. I think it's gonna be nice. Anyway, her dad comes to visit, and you guys, right when I saw the dad, I was just like, something about daddy I don't like. Like, he seems to be like, he's mean to her almost. She always kind of wants to have that whole, you know, this is my dad, and he don't give me the this is my dad type feeling, okay? That's more like my father. It's not the same thing. Like, remember, he's the one that started the whole thing about her feet being ashy. Like, who brings that kind of shit up? You know, he's always, like Ashley said, extra shady for no fucking reason. That's never how my dad is with me. I don't know other people, but whatever. He comes down, he's exactly the same way he wants to. Didn't daddy sound a little bit like TD Jakes on Valium? It's his voice. It was so low and so slow. I was like, did he have a stroke or something? Because if he did, I don't want to be talking about the man. Why he sound like that? Anyway, daddy is doing what daddy does best, okay? He's talking to her about men and how she been dating around and all of the men that she's been involved with. He only liked one. And Kenya was like, yeah, I know you like that one, but he wasn't the one for me. The dad was like, what you need to do is get you a scorecard situation. That's how we used to do it back in the day. Like one of my friends says, you know, he has his starting lineup and then he got the bitches on the bench. You got your starting five and then you got the ones that's ready to come in anytime. I don't know, you guys. I just get the feeling that the dad is a jerk. And it's probably because of history, the history that them two have together. But yeah, he's just not really the nicest person. Anyway, after they go see the house, she sits down with him and I guess this is her moment to try to have a heart-to-heart with the dad. She says it's very hard though because the dad doesn't open up easily. They have some bad history. She ran away from home when she was 12 years old and she lived in Houston, hated it there with the dad. So she ran back home to Detroit, I guess to live with, you know, Auntie Cisco, I think, because isn't that the person that supposedly had raised her? She still doesn't have a relationship with her mother. It's so funny. Now, all of a sudden, this season, all of my commenters are going on and on about her not having a relationship with her mother and the reason why that she is the way she is now. I'm not saying that her relationship with her mother has not affected her. I just think that it's funny that all of a sudden everybody is talking about her relationship with her mother when nobody was talking about it before. I mean, she's been on there enough now where people should have been saying this from the very beginning. She made it very clear from the very first season that her mother was not there. But it's funny, it's just you can see how the sway of comments, social media, and how things get kind of implanted into our brains, and now all of a sudden everybody is on this whole Kenya doesn't have a good relationship with her mother and that's why she's so fucked up. Could be true. I just thought it was interesting that all of a sudden everybody is talking about it. Anyway, when she tries to talk to her dad about that, you know, her dad actually opens up enough to get a little, you know, he was a little broke it up. You know, he was a little bit crying and saying how that really hurt him that she ran away, because to him, he wanted to have all his family together. This was finally a time where he felt like he could take care of everybody, and they were all in this room together, in this house together, and then she left. To him, that meant that he wasn't good enough, that she didn't want to be with him, that she didn't like being there with him. He didn't even take into consideration that she missed home, the same way she didn't take into consideration that his feelings was hurt. So I guess that was a breakthrough there. That was a good thing. When they start talking about the mother, again, she tells him she just wishes that the mom would open up the way that he, at least attempts to. And, the dad was just like, well, your mom, we all do the best with whatever we have. Kind of a little bit of an excuse for the mother. I don't really know the relationship between the mom and the dad. They ain't really made that clear. But, I get it. Kenya is trying to figure herself out. I think that's a good thing, okay? When she said that she went to the relationship expert and, he pointed out a few things to her. I think it's cool that she's now realizing that she's got to get herself straight first before you can be of any value to anybody. And that's with everybody, okay? We all need to work on ourselves. Even Rob Hill Sr. and Derek Jackson. Y'all love y'all some Rob Hill and Derek Jackson and Ayanla. Y'all swear that they got their whole lives together. Anyway, you guys, that is it on Kenya. I hope that is successful for her. I think Kenya's a beautiful person. On the outside, we need to try to get the inside to match. So Porsha has been hired to be the red carpet correspondent for Dish Nation, the TV show that she works for. So she's excited about it. I actually think that Porsha would be the perfect person for the red carpet. If she can kind of finagle this whole Dish Nation thing really well, she might have a future in one. I can see Porsha on one of those, gossip type TV shows like Access Hollywood or, the E! Channel and all of that. She has the personality for it. She's excited about it. She hasn't slept all night. She has her sister there, Lauren, who is also her manager, who is also her best friend. And Lauren's priorities have shifted a little bit. Lauren is pregnant. She's getting ready for this big event in her life. And Porsha just don't understand, why the fuck is everything changing?
See, this is why I needed to know about what was going on with your uterus, because I'm not used to you changing and not being there with me all of the time.
Porsha is just like, bitch, what the fuck is going on? That baby is not as important as me. And of course I don't believe any of that, because I'm sure Porsha has sense enough to know that when her sister has this baby, that of course she's not going to be able to tend to all of Porsha's wants and needs and whims. But Porsha say, yeah, she used to being a baby. Lauren's just like, whatever, girl, it ain't going to work out that way. So now Porsha, her team gets her all glammed up. She looks very pretty. She has her hair in a braid. She's got the dress. Makeup is really nice. She's ready for the red carpet. She tries to get Lauren to go out there with her. Lauren's like, honey, I'm not fixing to be standing out there all day on my feet. No, you go on ahead. You have a good time. Porsha gets out there on the red carpet and she does really well. Like I said, this is a position that she could probably go into once she leaves Real Housewives of Atlanta. She can go to the E! Network. Terrence J's position is available. Cynthia is using this season very smartly, okay? She needs to try to pump up this Cynthia Bailey eyewear. And it's not the first time that Cynthia and them have tried to use the show. She's trying to do her modeling agency. I don't know. I'm sure that that's picked up really well for her too. But we need to think of some shit that's long term. If she doesn't have her agency, then that's nothing that will sustain her. Okay, I guess. So we need something that you can keep on the market and people can buy. And that'll be these damn glasses. They're nice. I've seen them. She has some nice glasses. And I don't think the price point is too high. They're right around, well, she was having a sale of right around $100. And she needs to try to keep the price right at $100. Anything over $100, we not doing. Because Michael Kors sunglasses is right at $100, $150. And we all know Michael Kors. Okay, so yeah, we don't need Cynthia Baby. Just keep it right at $99. She's going to have a customer appreciation party. She's had a good amount of celebrities that have supported her. I guess she's been giving out her sunglasses for people to wear. Very smart marketing strategy. Has Marlo there. Marlo comes, because she's going to help her set up this party. Get it together, the best way that they can. It's funny, they just keep on trying to put Marlo in. They just don't know how to fit her in. I love Marlo. I like to see her. She's funny and everything, but she just seems to just be not necessary right now. I even hate to say it. But like I said, as far as the shameless plug for these sunglasses, you guys, I'm not mad at it, not one bit. Now, later on in the show, Kandi and Todd go to dinner with Cynthia and Peter. Kandi, she's all stuffed up in her Tags boutique dress. She's 6.5 months pregnant. I was like, dang, she looked like she's further along, but you know, maybe, I guess so. She sits down and they're talking about the conversation that Porsha and Phaedra and Shamia had at the video premiere party night that Don told her and Shamia, you know. So Kandi's whole thing is that Porsha picks sides. And Kandi has a problem with that because she feels like she's always been very supportive of Porsha. I've always been supportive of her. Like, I was the only one that was retweeting her song Flatline, and you know I told everybody to go pick it up. Like, I was supporting everything. But Kandi feels like Porsha just goes with whatever the flow is at the moment, and she don't like that. But that's kind of how most of the girls do. I think Kandi is the only one who stubbornly sticks with whatever she believes, you know, and don't let nobody else influence her. So, I mean, I guess that's a good point in Kandi. The bottom line is Kandi feels like, well, the problem is that Phaedra ain't paid this money. Then I heard Kandi say she ain't paid no $30,000. I was like, now wait a minute. Because when we sat there and heard Phaedra's conversation with Todd, we saw that there was a $25,000 and something check that canceled, and there was also an $8,000 and something check that canceled. So she did pay him $32,000. There's just another $8,000, so I guess somewhere around $40,000 that he was supposed to get paid. So I was just like, okay, now why are you saying that he didn't even get paid $30,000 when now we just heard that they did? So I was confused. Maybe she was just talking too fast and didn't mean that. Whatever. You know, Candace's just like, the bitch need to just give him his money. That's basically it. Then they get on the conversation about this restaurant. Okay, Peter and Cynthia still ain't on the same page about Bar One, Sports One. I just still am very sad that Bar One didn't really open back up in Atlanta. Didn't open, and I don't know what the plan is there. I guess his bar in North Carolina is doing well. They can't afford to just let it go. I'm assuming that it would be very difficult to run two bars in two different states, even though they're not that far away from each other. I mean, that's a big deal when you need to be at both places. You can't be at both places at once. And we already see that Cynthia's not fixing to be just running Bar One. That's not her thing. So, you know, long story short, they kind of arguing still about that Bar One situation. I don't know what's going to go on there, but that's that. The next day after the video premiere party, Shamia goes down to Kandi Coded Entertainment because she wants to talk to Kandi about the confrontation that Don and Phaedra and Porsha had. So she sits down with Kandi, and you know, Don's just like, oh, Shamia, I'm surprised that you're here, nigga. He was standing over Candy's shoulder making sure that bitch didn't say nothing about his ass. Okay, trying to act like he the ever doting friend, nigga, please. That is so fucking messy. Look, I'm here for friends that are really trying to be supportive and be there for you. I'm not here for friends that try to inflame the situation. Put 20 on 10. Put more on it than what it was, Don. You guys was going on and making it seem like, you know, Phaedra and Porsha was huddled over in the corner. I mean, just really getting into the gossip, and that was not it. Now, he did admit that he came in on the tail end, but I don't even know if he came in on the tail end. His ass was over there in the corner listening. Inch-eye fucking private eye over there spying and listening. Nigga, you was really just making a mess out of it. Don Juan is one of those friends who, if he doesn't like one of your other friends, he's gonna put such a serious strain on an already problematic friendship. That's what I was telling somebody on Twitter last night. Like, you're not trying to help this situation. You obviously don't want Kandi and Phaedra to be friends, okay? He does enough to say, why is she talking about money when she's still doing all these other things, okay? Got Carmen all pulled in, my girl Carmen. Carmen, why you falling for the fucking okie doke? She's all, well, how can she have all this money? She didn't need for money nowhere, and she got on new shoes, and she got new bags, okay? Got a new set of titties. They just gonna keep on telling us that Phaedra got a boob job. We already know. And Kandi, because she's sitting there with her friends, she is steadily getting pumped up by the shit they say, okay? Just being influenced by what they say, and the shit is not even right. To me, the Porsha situation and the Phaedra situation are two totally different things. Phaedra has the issue with the money. I get that. Porsha, I mean, she's just sitting there listening to her friend, and now all of a sudden everybody's so pissed off at Porsha. Man, please, whatever. So, you know, they're going on and talking about Phaedra and everything, and Shamia was just like, look, don't talk about my friend like that while I'm sitting right here. Like, I'm not going to entertain that kind of shit. So she kind of shut that shit down. I was glad, because they was fixing to go on and on about Phaedra and Porsha, and Kandi was going to be caught right up in the middle of it, because you got Carmen and Don Okay, they doing all of this, but they not the ones at the reunion that got to face all of this shit at the end. It all falls on Kandi. So I was glad that Shamia just cut that. Like, let's stop all this bullshit because it's not necessary. And did you guys hear Carmen's little Atlanta accent? I said, girl, you know you was swats last night. I never even realized that she was so country, bless her heart. Anyway, you guys, we finally get Phaedra and Todd to have this meeting. And I'm just going to say from the very beginning, Phaedra is full of shit. I mean, yes, Phaedra's full of shit. Because if you had a project with somebody and you promised to pay and you guys had signed contracts or whatever, you need to pay the money. I guess Todd could have taken it a step further and sued her, but that's not what he wanted to do. I think we all are tired of Todd because Todd never just, as far as the show was concerned, they never talked about this money issue until now. But, you know, in real life on Instagram, Kandi puts up this long post yesterday saying how she's upset that people try to lie on her husband, that he's been very successful with his job. I'm sure he has. Good for him. All we care about is the money part. We all know that Phaedra was throwing shade about him running out of money and that his projects didn't do well and all that. I mean, he had TV shows on there, whatever. Todd is doing what he needs to do. But as far as the situation with the money, you can't fault us for you guys giving us a half story. Now, you guys have been going on behind the scene, you know, this money, she paid $25,000, she paid $8,000, and then she didn't pay this last $8,000 that she owes, okay, that Todd was trying to get it from her, you know, just on the homie hookup, hey, when you gonna pay me, through emails and shit. Phaedra was faking the funk, coming up with excuses, not paying when she said she would. He's been doing this for years. It has nothing to do with the fact of him waiting until Apollo went to jail for him to finally come after Phaedra. What it does mean, and what Kandi failed to say in her post last night, is that they saved it so that they could use it for a storyline, okay, for Phaedra probably, because Phaedra really doesn't have nothing else going on in her life, okay? She's a mother, her man is gone, she's trying to raise her boys. So that's the part that we don't hear. That's the part that Kandi don't say. Instead, she gets upset. She posted an Instagram post yesterday, you know, defending her husband, which also, side note, I find very ironic that she defends her husband when it has something to do with Phaedra. But let that mama say whatever the fuck she want to say about Todd's ass. And Kandi is mum's the word, right? Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that one. But yeah, Phaedra's full of shit, because when she sat down with Todd, I'm gonna need better excuses than I was pregnant and then I had the baby and then Apollo went to jail. You have business. I'm sure all of your other businesses that you had still was up and running. You can't just stop shit because your man go to jail and you have a baby. You know how many people that happens to? So I'm not here for Phaedra's excuses, but I'm also not here for, you know, Kandi just kind of giving us the half story. And I'm also not here for Todd for playing into all the pettiness and everything if you're not going to tell us the whole entire story. So, I mean, you know, whatever. But when he sits down with Phaedra, he gets it clear that she still owes $8,000. You know, she says she's willing to get the project picked back up. He said, okay, I just need a picture of you when you're pregnant. We can put that on the damn DVD. We can get that shit out. Okay, she says, okay, if we can do all of that, then I will pay you. I guess that's it. That's all that needed to happen. Okay, a face-to-face. But yeah, Kandi and Todd, y'all not gonna fuss at us when you guys done waited 2-3 years to let us know that you ain't got this fucking money for this damn DVD. It's all a surprise to us. We ain't know shit about it. So that's it on that one. Now this party is the Cynthia Bailey Eyewear Appreciation Party. Okay, the girls, well, Kim comes. Okay, probably the best that I've seen Kim look. Still not, you know, 100% on the fashion point, but she's getting better and better as time goes along. I was even okay with the fucking hair. I mean, what else can you do at this point? Kim, you know, when she ain't got to be caught up in drama with Kenya, you know, she's cool enough to be on the show. I'm starting to feel like she's okay there. And I mean, not nothing super exciting, but whatever. When she gets there, she sees Cynthia. She even puts on her little director hat. Okay, that tells the photographer how to do this, do that, get better angles, what have you. When Kenya shows up, Cynthia tells both Kenya and Kim that she was interested in doing a commercial for her eyeglasses and that she wanted to possibly hire both of them as a director and a producer to help her put this commercial out. I said, bitch, you really fixed your mouth to say that you wanted to hire both of them when you got Kim there, who is an established director, who's an established actress. I know you guys gonna get in there and say Kenya has done acting. Okay, fine, whatever. But if we was gonna compare the two, There's no comparison. I mean, why would you, child? I was just like, you tried that shit today. Kim took the high road, even though it was a little shade underneath, and was just like, no, maybe you should just pick the person that's better for your project. It's not better. It's not a matter of it being who's better, because we all the fuck know who is better, okay? That's the little sentence that she left off that we was all able to add on the end ourselves. But at the party, we got, Candy there. We got Don and Karma. We got Porsha there. We got Shamia there. Okay, we got this whole mix of people there. You already know how it's gonna go. Porsha sees Candy and she was just like,
I just want to talk to you by yourself for a few minutes.
Because she got the Candy Coated gang just like right there ready to pounce. Candy tries to walk off with Porsha, but not before Don, apologizes. He says that he apologizes for being so aggressive and a little bit over the top because that's not normally his way. Don, you motherfucking ass. Your ass is super dramatic all the goddamn time. But he says that he still will stand in his position that he was being supportive of his friend Candy, okay? Porsha's just like, whatever, okay? I'm gonna go on and accept it because I ain't got time to be sitting here with this nigga. I don't really even care. So we can just move on from this. When she tries to talk to Candy by herself, Don and Carmen are just not letting it happen. Porsha's just like, whatever, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk away. So she goes outside and she sees Shamia and she was just like,
let me know, when is the last time Candy felt like she couldn't talk to me in private?
Kenya's in the inside, okay, digging the knife wound a little bit deeper. She was just like, well, we already know Porsha's, history. I wouldn't go outside with that bitch nowhere by myself. Candy is fucking 6.5 months pregnant. Porsha is not going to attack Candy. She was never going to jump on her anyway, so y'all stop trying to be extra with that. How does Carmen even come out there and tell Porsha that Porsha and Phaedra was telling all of Candy's business? Bitch, girl, you wasn't there, Candy. Carmen, girl, go sit down somewhere. So Porsha finally was just like, I'm not even going to sit here and argue with Carmen, a bitch that wasn't there, that's going on information that Don said that's incorrect, bitch. Bye. Girl, bye. I'm leaving. I'm not fixing to sit here with this ratchet conversation over some shit that is incorrect. Now, after the second blowout, okay, at the customer appreciation party, Porsha is just like, you know what, I need to sit down and talk to Candy by myself.
I value our friendship enough where I need to sit down and talk to her.
I can appreciate that. Get her away from everybody else so we can have a sound talk about what's going on. Okay, Candy goes and meets her there, and at first, they're not really comfortable trying to get around to the point. Porsha says, at the event last night, everything took a left turn. I just wanted to talk to you about, what happened with my conversation with Phaedra, but I wanted to have it by myself with you. Okay, Candy was just like, I don't really like when people be doing that because that's when people be trying to change their story and they start backtracking on stuff. No, that wasn't the situation. The situation this time was Porsha wanted to talk to Candy alone because Don Juan, we already have proof that Don Juan be over here yipping and yapping, just mixing shit up. So without to have to fight with Don arguing, I think that Porsha just wanted to talk to Candy. I don't know why Candy doesn't see that. Candy is stubborn in a way where once she has her mind set on something, she is not going to really bend from it. Porsha says, I didn't really say, we weren't talking about you bad like that. Candy said, well, it was tweeted. Obviously, you guys was yelling about it because somebody else heard it. And she said, no, that's because Don Juan yelled out that we was gossiping, not that anybody else heard that we were gossiping. Even still, I don't understand why you have a problem with me talking to Phaedra as a friend. Okay, Phaedra's been supportive of me. I'm trying to be supportive of her. She needs me a little bit more than you do, okay? And Candy was just like, oh, really? And she was just like, yeah, I mean, she just lost her husband. She's a single mom right now. Candy was just like, well, she didn't really want to be with him anyway. You guys are just believing the hype. Yeah. I do think that Phaedra was getting tired of Apollo anyway, but then Candy starts to argue with Porsha about Phaedra and how Phaedra can manipulate the situation because she's a lawyer, and then I just start sitting there thinking like, okay, here we go. The reason why Phaedra and Candy can't move on is because they got all these other people all in it. You got Porsha in it. You got Nene in it. You got Don in it. You got Carmen in it. You got Todd in it. You got Apollo, kind of in it from jail. You got all these people that keep on bringing up old shit that keeps on kind of muddling the issue and nobody can move on. And then I'm sure it doesn't help, like Candy said in her Instagram post, that it doesn't help when you feel like you guys have finally moved on and then you have to watch something rehash in the season on TV. Okay, because now you got social media and everybody chiming in and making shit worse and putting their 10 cents on it and all of that. So the shit can never move on. That's really the true reason why these friendships cannot get mended. And like I said, I don't believe that Kandi and Phaedra's relationship will ever be the way it was. I think Kandi realizes that. I don't know if Phaedra realizes that. Sometimes I don't even think Phaedra even cares to be Kandi's friend anymore. And vice versa. It's more so that we all want them to be friends. But I was glad to hear that Kandi said, well, nobody is going to be able to move on if we keep on bringing up old shit. Because you won't be able to move on. I don't know, you guys. What do you guys think? Like, do you feel that Kandi and Phaedra is even trying to save a friendship? Or can they just move on? Okay, just, you be cordial. You guys can invite each other over, but we ain't fixing to be on the phone all the time and running to get something to eat and going shopping together and doing all of that. That friendship is over. It's over. Okay? Let's just move on. But that's it, you guys. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.